Greetings and welcome to the MTG-Profits podcast, the podcast dealing with Magic the Gathering finance, from buying and selling cards to financial speculation. This is episode 30 of the MTG podcast. We made it to another big number, I guess. My name is Andy. With me, as always, is my co-host, Evan.
Hey, everybody.
And a quick plug before we jump into everything. If you want more of that great content gravy that we're serving up, come and check us out online on MTG-Profits.com or go on the YouTubes. We're out there too, so we've got some arena battles there and some other podcast things. So go online and get your fill there too.
Absolutely, get your fix. And he works hard making that gravy, so he's infusing it with bacon. So make sure you
spicy recipe.
Exactly. Absolutely. So I know it's been a relatively quiet news week, it seems like, and I don't have anything super special, but I have been paying attention to some of the pricing after the announcement of some of the challenger decks, and well, you took a look at the challenger deck lists, correct?
Yeah, I took it. We talked about this a little bit last time. I think we determined that overall the Arcane Tempo was the money deck to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been sort of looking at some of the pricing on some of the more expensive cards. In particular, the Phoenixes and the History of Benalia and things of that nature, and they have started to tank as expected.
Yeah.
So hopefully, if people were holding those, they've been in the process of unburdening themselves of the supply of those cards. So they shall, I would imagine, continue to fall relatively precipitously. So I would still definitely put a sell on those. On those cards, in particular the Phoenixes. That were. I want to see the Arclight still in the 20s, and the Rekindling is
pretty good
in the teens. So you can still cash in a little bit, and they'll probably drop to, single digits maybe.
Really? You think it's going to go that low?
Yeah. Well, I also think the Rivals one, the Rekindling one, is going to be rotating soon. So I think it's like $18 now, but that sucker's probably going to go to $6. So even though people are maybe hurting over the loss of the value, I would still consider selling, just because the price memory sometimes makes things hard to let go. And I know I'm affected by that too. I don't know how you feel about that, but sometimes I'll remember how much a card was, and I can't let it go for a cheap price, because I feel like, if I'm holding a card that was like $11 and it's only worth $4 now, I'm like, but it was worth $11 not that long ago.
Exactly. You feel it should probably, hopefully, maybe come back up in price.
It's like a psychological, failing to try. The same thing happens in real life. I'll be sitting there looking at my regular, retirement investment portfolios, and the same exact thing happens. I'm like, oh gosh, I'm looking at this stuff. I'm like, it's really dropped. Should I dump it, or, and buy something that I'm more confident about, or should I just hang on to it and ride it down to its death?
Yeah, you've already gone this far.
Sometimes I ride it to its death, and I regret having done so. So, so for those cards that will continue to go down, especially cards that are going to be, printed in pre-constructed products, boy, these cards have only one way to go, and it's not up.
But do you think that affects, whether you should buy any of these challenger decks or not?
It depends on what you're after. I think realistically, I still do like some of them, because especially, it really just depends on the price you get them at. Would I pay like $40 for a challenger deck? No way. Would I pay $20? Absolutely. Would I pay $15? Without doubt.
What about the retail of the 30s?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not as fond of that. I'd want to probably get them in the 20s. So, and the way I would probably do that, if I wanted to do it at release, was buy 4 ofs. Buy them in the complete pack for $80. Because you can get them on eBay, like a 4-pack of them for about $80, and that's probably the way I would do that.
Problem is, I have no interest in 2 of those decks.
Yeah, you're right, but you kind of have to use that to average out the cost, because I sure don't want to pay 40 for one of them, you know.
No, but I don't know. 30 is not terrible.
It's not, but I'm almost of the opinion that I'd rather have all of them for a lower average price than one of them for a higher single price, or a higher individual price, I should say. But and that's typically my method, is get more cheaper if I can and sell the parts off. So I did that last time with, I would say, relatively high levels of success. I think I have probably, 12 to 14 of those Challenger decks, and they have essentially paid for themselves by parsing out about 4 of them. So so now I'm just sitting on them, and they're all sealed. I probably have 10 of them unopened, just sitting there on my shelf, doing nothing. But they essentially are free. Like, I have paid nothing for them due to their cost value being 0.
Yeah.
So, and the other ones that I opened, I only sold like 2 or 3 cards from each one. So, you know, so they're semi-complete. You know.
I'm sure all the value has been depleted from them, though.
You know, like the 3 top value cards would have been depleted. Like, it was the Chandra, the Hazoret, and in the green ones, the Fatal Pushes and the Walking Ballista. Those are the cards that I sold. But I essentially sold those 4 cards out of 4 to 5 decks, and I basically paid for 14 decks. So, you know, pretty worth it.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I don't know. I've had mixed luck with selling the cards off. Sometimes, you know, those Challenger ones, I didn't really get my money back.
Yeah. You know, it all depends on the price you get in at. You know, that's kind of the thing. It's like, see, the other thing is that on average, I think I only probably paid on average $16 to $18 per. So, you know, when you pay 30, it's a lot harder to make your break even than it is when you're 18. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said, if you're buying them in the bundles, you know, that's a little different. I don't know. I'm not as keen on the bundles and getting things I really don't want.
Yeah, you're right about that. But then the bundle sometimes is a benefit because you sort of have this mutual fund of cards, and you don't know which ones are going to go up. Like, you know, initially it was like, oh, the red box was awesome. Everybody wanted the red one, you know, because it had the Chandra and the Hazoret in it. But then it turned out the green one was more valuable because of the dual lands,
that is surprising.
The Fatal Pushes and the Walking Ballista. So sometimes you don't know what's going to go up, you know. And the other ones, like some of those things I bought for $8. Like some of the marching or the vehicle Marches of Madness or whatever, the vehicle one.
Yep.
And I think I got a blue one for $8.99, and I got a couple of the little vehicle crew ones for between $8 and $10 because at the time people did not want them, and I was like, golly, $8, $8.99 shipped, you can't beat it.
Yeah, that's really good.
So, but I was patient. I waited. I bided my time. Those I did on auction from eBay, where I just put a bid in of $10 and they worked. So,
well, that's great.
Yeah. So we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I may I may go at these slowly. I probably will. Yeah. Because I don't need them to play with. I don't think they're as good, honestly, as the first run as far as power level, like playability wise. So we'll see. You know?
Yeah. We'll have to keep an eye then.
But bottom line, if you have some of those high dollar ones from those decks that are upcoming, I would sell them. I would sell the Arclight Phoenixes and the Rekindling and
those lands.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a sell recommendation, not so much a news item, but
those will be dropping. What is it? Second week in April, I think.
Gosh, is it? Yeah. Boy, that's going to drop around this very similar time to the. Wait, when is War of the Spark coming out? Isn't that around the same time?
End of April, early May.
Oh, okay. For some reason, I was thinking April 7. I don't know why I was thinking that.
No, not that soon.
Okay. Gosh, it just seems like the relentless pace of the release cycle. I can't keep up.
Yeah, it's always quite.
It is prolific and plentiful. So, yeah.
Oh yeah.
I haven't really seen any.
May 3rd is the official release for War of the Spark.
Okay. I haven't seen any specific spoilers for War of the Spark yet, which is honestly kind of surprising.
It's coming, and I don't know if you saw the news from today about the preview season. But they're basically doing the previews a little bit different this time. I guess first off, there's going to be an official War of the Spark story, which will be a book that you can buy, and you can. It's going to be available at the end of April.
I hope it turns out okay. Who knows? I don't have high hopes, but
I don't have high hopes, and we talked about this before. I really feel no affinity for any of the characters, or the storyline, or anything.
yeah, you're probably right. I mean, they just. I've never felt that compelled by the story.
No.
I really haven't. I've never thought, like, I really want to know what happens to Jace. I'm like, no, I don't really care. Like,
and I guess I feel too that, well, I guess their story history has been terrible. So
their books have been really awful,
just atrocious. Yeah. And I guess just kind of all around, just the general feel of these characters and their stories feels like the kind of storylines that would appeal to someone maybe 15 and under.
I would say like age 12.
Or maybe 12 and under, sure.
Yeah. They're very basic, very veneer-like characters. Like, very, sort of vanilla. You could almost slap the tropes. These are just very standard tropes that you could slap on anybody.
You can on all of these guys, and the evil, dragon, and it just feels so.
It feels super basic and very lame and non-interesting.
Yeah, exactly, and maybe that's fine. Maybe they don't care about an older audience, but. I guess I wouldn't find this in the story very appealing. I guess I want something much more deep and serious, and for lack of a better term, like Game of Thrones-ish.
Yeah. It's funny because you would think after years of floating around with a lot of the same planeswalkers, like Liliana, Jace, Chandra, what's the black. I don't know if the original. Like, I'm trying to think of the original Lorwyn ones. It was Jace, Liliana,
Liliana, Garruk.
Oh, Garruk was one of the original five.
Yep.
Okay.
Jace, Liliana,
and
Garruk.
The black one.
And that was Liliana.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah. And Chandra. Yeah, the four.
Okay. Who was the white one? Was the white one a Johnny? The very first.
Oh yeah, Johnny.
Okay,
Johnny. Yeah.
So
those were 5. Yep.
They're still kicking around, and their story after a decade is just as lame as ever. Like they haven't developed as characters at all. They're not cool. They're not like. I feel like they're super watered down. They themselves are just like pantomime tropes of what the white guy should be, or the blue. You know what I mean? Like, they're just very. You would think they would be better fleshed out by now. Like, they would have more interesting. We'd know more cool backstory. Other characters that they betrayed and other people they killed or stomped on to get where they are. Mm-hmm. Their friends that died along the way because they're old. It's like, no, nothing that awesome. Like, they're really still the same as they were in Lorwyn. They still, it's like, I don't know. Like, you would think, literally, like, Lorwyn's like a decade old. Yeah. So you would think after all that time, the characters would be cooler by now.
You would think so. I guess. I mean, I guess you could argue that there's been a lot of they've gone on lots of adventures, and you got some of their background and origins and all this sort of stuff. But I still agree. I mean, at the end of the day, I still don't feel any sort of compassion or anything for these characters.
You really don't care.
I really have no close ties to them.
I feel very neutral about them, where you should either like them or dislike them by now, like just their characters.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, I hate that one, or I love that one, or I don't know. I feel like, yeah, you're right. There's just no attachment to them at all.
Yeah, I just could care less. If they all kill each other all off, so much the better.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be a little spicy. That might be cool.
Yeah. I mean, and I guess, do something like that. Heck, make it a total shocker,
Exactly. Kill the main character. Bolas eats Jace for breakfast.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Like, who knows,
Absolutely, because and they kind of did that once before, like with the whole Phyrexia versus Mirrodin, and
that actually was not bad. Like how the Phyrexians won. That was actually unexpected and good.
Yeah, because you're like, oh well, the good guys are gonna win, because that's always what happens. Nope, exactly. Good guys lost.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. That was I was pleasantly surprised by that, and in retrospect, that was probably some of the best sets of what I would consider recent release. Yeah. That and maybe original Innistrad. I love those cards. I love playing original Innistrad. I love playing the new Return to Mirrodin stuff. I love that stuff. It was really good. It was like fun to draft, fun to play. And in the case of the Mirrodin stuff with the Phyrexian stuff, I thought the story was more interesting than usual.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you're right. That was probably the best stuff that's come out in a long time.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was definitely a surprising.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, pretty good
turn on that one.
Yeah.
But I guess going back to the kind of the pre-release and them preparing for the preview season. So there's the book coming out, and then they're going to be previewing cards, in which they call, starting this weekend, in what they call themes. So it's going to be like a picture that's going to be like a storyboard with several different cards involved with it.
Okay.
Every new, I guess every day they're going to update the storyboard with a new theme. So you're going to get kind of a taste of the story and things that are going on, just in a different flavor.
That's not bad. I think that's not a bad way to do it. Maybe they're trying to draw people in.
And then they also said they're going to be previewing everything all along the way for the next 3 weeks. So normally they did like a significant number of commons and uncommons that were revealed on the final day of preview. This time they're going to kind of be showing everything more evenly, I guess, over the 3 weeks.
Okay.
So we'll see. I don't really feel one way or the other about that. I guess it's just a different way of presenting it. Maybe kind of stir up your interest, but I would think I still kind of feel the preview stuff has kind of ruined things. I'd rather not have any previews or very limited previews.
I agree. I would love it the way it used to be, where you could go to a pre-release and nobody really knew what the cards were. Yeah. Now it's like you go to pre-release and people have studied they all know all the cards that are out. It really drains a lot of the fun from that.
Exactly. Why not have a total surprise? Why not?
Yeah.
Kind of. I know it's probably. I'm sure it's better for them to kind of fuel that interest beforehand, and people get excited, and they can keep you on the hook. But
yeah.
I like the idea of a surprise. It's like a trailer. I mean, once you've seen the trailer, it's kind of like seeing the whole movie. So
exactly, especially lately,
Yeah.
You're just like, oh man, yeah.
I guess speaking of War of the Spark and Magic and other Magic stuff, there was a announcement just recently too. It was sort of unusual that Wizards of the Coast is bringing a brand new Magic the Gathering game to the mobile world. And this is called Valor's Reach. And it's going to be a Magic the Gathering mobile game. And apparently, I didn't remember this, but the Valor's Reach is a reference to the stadium where Magic duels are fought. I assume that's from Battle Bond, but
okay,
is my guess. But apparently, it's going to be a another collectible card game on your phone, and you can battle it out with the Planeswalkers, and you can make decks and shoot spells and everything. The details were very limited about exactly how it was going to play or whatnot. Apparently, the Planeswalkers were going to form a major role. Just from some of the imagery, and I don't know, it does sound very Hearthstone-like. So
okay,
we'll see what's going to happen there. It's not clear exactly when it's going to launch. It said the only thing it said was starting the week of March 25th in the Nordic region. Whatever that is to mean.
I guess like Sweden.
I guess. I don't know. It's not very not very clear.
Sort of a strange place to release something.
I would think so. Yeah. Why would you do that?
Huh. Not sure. Yeah. Be curious. I'm not in a big hurry to get into stuff on my iPad, or like the phone, for goodness sake. I would like Arena to show up on an iDevice. Like
I would enjoy that. I'd love to be able to play that on a tablet or some other mobile device.
And there's no reason they couldn't do it. They designed the Arena in Unity. Unity is a cross-platform capable product without the need to recode. So essentially, the Unity engine allows for you to design something on a PC that can be used on an iPad or a Mac as well. So there's no good reason that they couldn't do such a thing. So, and it would allow for cross-platform play. This seems like an obvious no-brainer to me, but I don't know why they are very reluctant to implement. So,
I don't know. Yeah, I agree. It still seems like a no-brainer. Why don't we get our game out in as many platforms as possible?
Get it in front of as many faces as you can, as many places as they can get it.
Exactly.
So
don't monkey around with all these other kind of updates and whatnot.
Don't make new games
a top priority.
Make this a priority, exactly. Don't putz around with Valor's Reach.
Yeah, exactly.
Put your primary product in as many places as you can get it.
I agree.
Once you have saturated all available locations, that's when you start making other things.
Yes.
I sent you a little picture of something in the Skype there.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah.
This is a card, the Captive Audience.
Yep.
Take a look at this card, and for those of us that can't see because of the podcast format, one of my favorite characters is in this, and I noticed this the other day when I was playing online. I was like, so take a good look at this card.
Yeah, I read about this in one of the Rosewater ones.
Look at the little guy.
Yep, he's sitting on the shoulder. I assume you're talking about
the little oaf. Or the little homunculus.
Fifth, I think his name is.
Yeah.
I can't pronounce it exactly. He's the little homunculus.
Yeah, it's like Flurp or whatever.
Yeah, he's sitting on the one warrior there on his shoulder.
Little homunculus. I couldn't believe that. I was like, look at that little guy. It's the guy from like Crush Underfoot or something. Or
he's showed up with a couple cards.
Lost in the City or whatever. And I kind of like the homunculi. I feel they're an underrepresented race.
I agree. There's some pretty cool ones.
It's funny. I was like, figured I'd have to show you that at some point.
Oh yeah, I saw. Yeah, that is cool.
Funny little guy.
Little homunculus.
Excellent.
Nice. I guess the only other news I had was about the arena, and there was another big update to arena. It literally just happened today, I believe, is when it took effect. This morning, I think, depending on where you are in the world here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they did their what did they call it? Like their March release or whatever. The March developer update is what they call it.
Okay.
Once again, I think they kind of missed the boat here. They've done a lot of things on the style and cosmetics, but nothing of functional.
Nothing of value. Mm.
So now we've got different card styles for some of the cards. You can now get sleeves for your cards.
I saw that. Yeah, I thought
you
that
can buy
was
guild bundles, which include card sleeves and card styles and an avatar. What else? They have.
I thought the card sleeves was particularly weak. I thought that was really dumb. I was like, oh boy.
And for these card styles now, you have a little parallax effect on some of the cards, so you can kind of see the image rotate a little bit. So really three big things: avatars, card sleeves, and additional card styles. And one more thing, and it didn't seem to me clear in their the release, the little release explanation. Maybe they explained it more in their actual YouTube video version of it. But all of those things are not free. They are only things that you can purchase with gems.
Oh yeah, of course.
Typically, I think actually I take that back. I think there might be the sleeves or something that you can get with gold, but it's a very high amount of gold for it. It's like 10,000 gold or something.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, they're gonna, this is a way for people to bling out their stuff, and Wizards wants to cash in on that.
And it's funny because I actually played against the guy tonight, and he had one of the new avatars.
Did he really? Wow! Oh my goodness!
He had obviously bought one of the guild packs.
Guild packs, yeah. It's like, show your faction, Gosh, that's funny.
And like I said, those aren't cheap. I mean, I think the guild packs are, I want to say somewhere between 800 to 1,000 gems.
It just shocks me that people want to spend their money on that sort of thing. But, goes to show, I guess maybe I don't know what the people want. I know I don't want that, but, to each his own, I guess.
Kind of unnecessary. I mean,
yeah.
I'd rather play in the draft than...
God, yeah. Absolutely.
I don't know why.
Absolutely.
I don't know how that's going to help me, but...
Absolutely. I totally agree with you on that one, but... I've always been that way too. Like, generally speaking, although this has changed slightly for me over the years, like I've always, for example, not historically played with a lot of sleeves because I really haven't played with cards of value, so I never really, I don't typically build decks that are expensive to play with, so I haven't historically felt the need to play with sleeves. And I always thought to myself, why would you want to buy sleeves for $5 when you could buy like a play set of cards that I need for my deck for $5, I've come around a little bit on that, though. I do play with more sleeves now, and it's almost because I find it easier to shuffle with the sleeves and shuffle more effectively, and in the attempt to avoid the ever-present mana screw and mana flood, I feel that more frequent and better shuffling is to my betterment. But, I still get the screw over all the time. But, at least in my mind, I feel like, well, I'm at least shuffling better. So, I'm starting to sleeve more just from a utilitarian standpoint. But I always felt like, I've always historically felt like these are a waste of money.
I agree.
But, and again, too, I think it comes from the time that we started playing cards, too. It was like, back in the day, sleeves didn't exist. We were rolling around.
No.
We were rolling around with our dual lands on the lunch table at school.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's sort of a different, I guess, experience. If you always started playing with sleeves, maybe you would always like them, and maybe you feel like it's an integral part of the game. Maybe I don't understand where people are coming from, where they would want sleeves. But the idea of sleeves on a digital card seems just asinine to me. Like, good grief! All this
that's always been a thing, though. People love to, like you said, like bling out their stuff. I mean, they want the little special avatar. They want all those special little rewards, and they want to look different and cool.
Yeah, I guess so.
They want the mount for their special mount for their character or whatever. I mean, it seems silly, but people like that stuff.
Like it. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's funny.
But I guess, like we said, bringing them back, it's like it seems it's disappointing. I feel that instead of focusing on a friend list or multiple platforms or things that would really improve the actual game,
actually improve functionality as opposed to just window dressing.
Yeah, this is total window dressing, and it's probably I assume pretty easy for them. They have the artists cook up some new designs, and they throw on for some sleeves. Done.
Absolutely.
And they put it all in gems, so you can get some extra. They can get some more cash in.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it doesn't really do anything for the game.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I would strongly prefer functional improvement over window dressing, honestly, any day, any time, for any reason.
Absolutely.
But I guess, like I said, we don't get to pick what Wizards does, even though we probably would make some awesome choices for them.
Absolutely.
I guess one more thing, I before we go, it's something that I've got my eye on, and this is more of a consideration for a sell recommendation as opposed to a buy recommendation. I'm keeping close tabs on the Papa Jace. I'm looking at him, and
he's been going up.
He has been. He's up to 109 now.
Okay.
So I want to say I still have maybe one or two of him left, and at one point I think I had like a little more than a play set. I think I had like 5 or 6 of those, and I've been selling them off over time, and I know most recently I sold them at around the $55 mark, so I definitely did not time that properly. But now I'm looking a lot more heavily at unloading my residuals, because I feel this is a good selling point. I think I'd be very happy if I could get $109 for one of these.
Sure.
So I'm going to be looking to unload my Jaces personally. That's my next plan over the next week. I think I'm going to list them and dump. So. Okay. I can't imagine them climbing that much higher, and they've been reprinted enough times. I think that's a reasonable sell point, and I'm willing to take the risk that it goes up higher, because I think it could just as easily go lower when they need to reprint a new Ultimate Master set.
Sure.
So, which they won't call Ultimate Masters, but they'll call something else. So,
Yeah, you're right about that.
So. That's just a potential sell recommendation for anyone that maybe in the same boat that I am, where they're sitting there and one or two might be in a binder somewhere. You could buy a whole box of War of the Spark, even after your expenses for that one card. It's hard for me to justify keeping that card in my binder at that rate for a card that they will reprint. This is not a reserve list card. This is a card that will see reprinting. So, it's for me. It's a sell point.
It's time for it to go.
Yeah, I may be wrong on the call. It may go up to 125, but like I said, I'm comfortable unloading at this point. So, but that's about all I've got for the week.
Okay, pretty solid. I'll throw out one potential pick here. This is just a kind of a cheapie. Here, that's this was another one on my giant list of Ravnica Legion cards that I would like, and this is a Glass of the Guild pack. Two colorless. It's an artifact. Multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1.
Oh yeah.
Right now it's going for about 22 cents. You know, I like anything that gives a sort of buff, and you know, this does it. It's an artifact, and it's only 2 mana.
Yeah, you can't beat the price on that one. So, yep.
I mean, you know, it's no what's that one? The Sun, Immortal Sun.
Oh, the Immortal Sun.
It's no Immortal Sun, but
now refresh my memory. Are the Afterlife tokens black and white?
They are.
There you go.
I believe so.
I think they're black and white flying tokens.
Yeah,
so
I think so.
That's what you build with that, you know. But you know, I love that because casual builders and players like myself love stuff like that. You know, that's exactly what I do. I build an Afterlife deck with lots of tokens and buffs of that nature. You know, because all
mana. I mean,
can't beat that. You need to throw that in your Afterlife deck.
I think
creatures are black and white,
right.
if I remember. I think you're loaded with black and white creatures in that deck.
I am. You know, that's the perennial problem, though, is, you know, what to include, because there's so much good stuff.
So many things. Yeah. You're absolutely right. It's you know, it's a good problem to have, but yeah.
That is one of the great bonuses of the arena, where I could just make another variation on the deck in 2 seconds.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right about that.
And you're right, I just double-checked, too. It's all of those, when this creature dies, create 2 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens.
There you go.
So your 1/1 is now a 2/2.
3/3. Oh, yeah, 2/2. That's right. Fly.
Then you throw in that Ethereal Absolution, I believe it is.
Oh, man. Is that the one where yours get the plus and an enemy gets the minus? Man, that one's terrible.
So now your little guys are now 3/3 flyers.
Yeah, that thing is oppressive. I've played against that thing in draft a couple of times, and I've gotten hosed by that more than one time.
Absolutely, that's really powerful. And you know, if that wasn't enough, you could exile target cards to get the spirit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh God!
Like, here's another little bonus action.
Man, it would have been fine with just the first 2 things, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. That card is a fantastic card.
Yeah. So Glass of the Guild pack, go ahead, pick it up. You know, we're gonna see multicolored creatures. It's gonna happen.
It's
happening now. It'll happen again.
Yep.
Guaranteed.
Absolutely.
22 cents. I'm kind of surprised it's actually this low. But,
you know, almost all these buffs eventually go up in price. You know, so they always creep up. So
yeah, I could see this going to 50 cents.
Yeah, this could be like an 85-cent card in a year.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? So when you think about it that way, you're like, wow, 400% gain. You know, and sometimes again, it's all about the percentage gain, not necessarily the dollar gain.
Yep.
You know, so if you have 50 of these things, you know, for 22 cents, and you know, you sell 50 of them for 80 cents.
Absolutely.
You're doing okay.
Yeah, not too bad.
You know, more than half a box right there.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Very good.
Nice.
Well, thanks to all the listeners, and I think we're going to close it out. And
yeah, so sell your Papa Jace and pick up some Glass of the Guild packs.
Absolutely. You could sell 1 Papa and pick up 200 of those.
Yes, do that.
Yeah, very good. All right, everybody. Until next time, may all your picks be profitable. Have a good one.
Catch you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.